Okay. Oh, wow. I know. I know a lot of you are probably wondering what happened to me, why I've been missing. I feel like there's a big disconnect with people close to me. I don't know what's going on. And it does affect me emotionally. It really does. Um, it's like some things, I don't know. It's life is short, especially with what I'm dealing with right now. The last thing I need is people just cutting me out of their lives. I don't understand what I've done wrong other than just living my life down here in my new place, just minding my own business, doing what I can to get by in life and, you know, making an honest living. Not making much, I'm kind of on a fixed income if you look at it that way, making less than what you make with Social Security, less than $800 a month. It's kind of that's my life, but I don't want to get into this. I don't want to really get into all that financial stuff. But what the reality of everything is that I'm going through something right now, and the last thing that I need right now in my life is people close to me just cutting me out of their lives and not communicating to me and not talking to me and not responding. And this has been ongoing for months now. And it's really heartbreaking considering that one day you're here and one day you're not. And, some people who just cut me out of their life, what kind of guilt are they going to feel when I'm 6 feet under because, cancer takes me to that point, you know what I mean? Where it's over for me. And that's the biggest fear is, those that you care about, friends, family. I know there's a lot of distance between friends and family when you move somewhere, especially, when you're trying to, you know, just have a better life, maybe be able to live in a place that's more affordable, be around better hospitals, so you have better care. When you have health issues that you somehow in your mind you just it's like a weird, I don't know, it's a sick sense, or what do you call that? It's an intuition. It's like, oh, I need to be here. I need to be near better medical facilities. Let me move down to South Georgia. I need to do it now. These are things that have been going on through my head, and I just thought it was best to be in a place where there's the modern hospitals, medical facilities, cancer treatment centers, all these things close by. And I was, going through so much to try to make sure that I had health coverage because those were issues for me based on my limited income. It's kind of like when you're in that fine line between qualifying for Medicaid or qualifying for the government subsidy. The catch is if you make too little, you can lose your government subsidy for health care for the Affordable Care Act health insurance. And if you own too many assets, like if you own a house or a car or say if you have a certain amount of money that you have saved to be able to live on, especially if you don't have a stable job or a stable source of income because, you know, you try to stay employed and, you do electrical work and all of a sudden, they want to move you 3 hours away from your home. And how is that possible to make ends meet when you have to now commute, 200 and something miles away? And it just doesn't make sense, right? So jobs come and go, pandemic came and gone, and I'm here and I'm trying to smile every day, trying to be positive, you know, questioning myself, asking friends, where I stand in their lives, like as I start to feel like there's disconnects from people and I start to worry that maybe I'm doing something wrong, I'm making mistakes in friendships or in with those that I care about, and it's been consuming me, and it's like I'm trying to make the best of life while I'm still here because there's a lot of things that I haven't told you guys because I don't like to bring negative things to YouTube. I don't like to bring it to social media or online But sometimes things just have to be spoken because there's got to be some transparency, right? There's got to be transparency. And I want you guys to be part of my life. Like, you are part of my life, and I don't want to leave you out. And I just want to continue to share the things with you guys. And, you saw like paranormal videos, you saw crazy stuff on this channel. Some of it makes you wonder, what kind of choices am I making in my life where I end up in these situations? But let's put aside the paranormal. Let's put aside the stalkers and all that stuff, because all that doesn't really matter if you're no longer in existence, if you're no longer here, because cancer takes your life, because some disease takes your life. And what is this if we don't exist anymore? It's like it's not here. How relevant is it to us when we no longer are here to see the sun rising and the sun setting, and breathing in the air, smelling the smells, feeling the temperatures, whether you got a cool day outside or a warm day, or just being with people that are amazing and just saying, hey, you want to spend time, or hey, I love you, or whatever it may be. It really does hurt. And I'm telling you guys, if you have friends and family, embrace that. Don't let go. Don't let misunderstandings come in the way. Don't let gossip get in the way. Like somebody like, oh yeah, well, this or that, because gossip is gossip. People will say something to make you look like a less of a person, because maybe somebody's jealous, maybe somebody misunderstands something, maybe it's like you can have friends, okay? Say you have a friend that comes to visit you for a couple months, right? And you do a lot of fun things, you go a lot of fun places, they go back home. Then you have another friend that comes over and you barely do anything. Or here's a better example. Let's say you have two kids, right? And one of them gets, it's like this. They say, oh, can I have this? Can I have allowance? Okay. Maybe one of them gets a bigger allowance because they're older than the other one. And then they might get jealous. Oh, well, my brother or sister, whatever, got more allowance. And then they feel less loved. But see, there's a lot of things that go deeper than that. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to give you guys some examples, or you can have a good friend, you can have a special friend, you can have acquaintances in life. People are treated differently based on how they treat you and the relationship they are, who they are in relation to you. And some people just get jealous over simple little things, and some things that may be misunderstanding or misinformation, or maybe someone tries to sabotage relationships by saying something that's not 100% true, maybe kind of like exaggerating, or saying, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you took them out to a fancy restaurant, okay? But then yet, that other person, you took them out to a less fancy restaurant. So they're less of you're not being fair. These are just things that I'm just trying to say. Like, I try to treat people equally and respectfully. I'm not playing favoritism with anybody in life. I'm very fair with my friends. I've always been fair with my family. I've always loved my family equally. I mean, I never gave it, anybody any kind of special treatment that way. But it really has nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to say examples, like when you have, brothers and sisters, and you maybe you're a different age group, and maybe you got away with more than your sibling because you're older, so you're able to do more things, or you got more allowance, or just certain things like that. You had more privileges because you earned them. And sometimes, even if you're the same age, one may be more responsible, have more responsibility. So with that higher level of responsibility, They maybe just act more responsible. They're more careful. So then they may earn more privileges than the person who is not as responsible. But sometimes people, it could be an outside person that tries to sabotage relationships, because they may, put something in someone's head and make somebody see something differently about someone. It's like you could be the best person in the world, but yet somebody can like say, oh yeah, well, he's got a motive. Yeah, he's only acting that way because of this or that. You know what I mean? It's like when you get into relationships, you have people that just want to interfere with that relationship. And I know you guys are probably confused, like, where is this guy going with this? Does this have to do with a potential girlfriend that's moving in and somebody's like trying to, gossip and say, oh, don't move with him, he's living with ghosts, or, his whole YouTube life is nothing but just paranormal, and, you don't want to be with him. This is the kind of thing I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, is YouTube causing me to have people that no longer want to communicate with me, that they don't want to associate with me? Maybe there's because they don't like what they see. It's almost like I have friends who I don't talk about YouTube with, really close friends. Sometimes I separate YouTube, a lot of times from my personal life when it comes to friends and family. I keep that stuff, I just don't bring it up because it's like, it's just a hobby, right? But I know it became more than a hobby. It became like, a way of reaching out to the world and just sharing my life and sharing entertainment and sharing laughs and sometimes even cries, But I feel like some people might not understand YouTube, might not understand it. And so maybe I'm judged for it. Maybe people, will treat me less of a person because of it, because of maybe how I act in YouTube videos, because, me running around cursing, not being so, I guess so gentleman-like, that can make me look bad, in the eyes of someone who may want to have a relationship with me. So they see that kind of content and all of a sudden they're like, I don't want to be around him. That's the way he is. That's how he acts. But, you got to understand when it comes to YouTube, you put on a camera, sometimes your reactions can be kind of exaggerated. Aren't we all like kind of guilty of exaggerating our emotions sometimes when we are around friends, or if we know we're being on social media or a camera's going, maybe we just do a little bit more. We just step it up a little bit, and maybe some people just think that I'm actually like running around being disrespectful, yelling at spirits, cursing at paranormal, and I'm a bad guy. And so, there's going to be people that are very religious that's in my family, and also, I'm not saying how close in my family, but like friends, like I said before, friends and family are both the same to me. So I'm using both words interchangeably between each other. So it doesn't mean one or the other. It could mean the same. But let me get my glasses on, read some comments, and I'll explain what's going on with this whole cancer anxiety, this whole cancer thing, the symptoms I'm feeling, the situation with some bleeding I got going on, which the doctor confirmed, and he's concerned. And now I have to deal with some things and waiting for medical clearance. I will get into all this stuff because there's things that are unfinished, and like I got paper coming in the mail every day about, because I've been going to the doctor so many times, and luckily my health insurance through the Affordable Care Act has been, paying for a lot of these visits and imaging tests and all these diagnostics. I mean, all these things are being, it's just, I couldn't imagine where I'd be right now if I didn't have insurance. Holy crap. I would literally be on the streets. But let me see who's here. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Tina G's in the house. How you doing? Brandy, hello from South Carolina. Hello from Oregon. Oh, yeah, 87 people up in this stream. Hey, you know what? It's a good stream tonight. Like I said, I love streaming. I've been doing a lot of other kind of streaming too. I don't know what it is. Drinking a lot of water lately. I don't know. Something's going. Like I said, there's things going on which I'll explain. Um, Bobby, those are petty people, and not all of us are like that. We love you. We want the best for you right now. You need to focus on you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Like I said, some people that are dear to me and close to me, and it's like there's a disconnect. That I don't know. I don't think that people who are really close to me are going to stop communicating with me because of what some outsider might, say, or, try to, I don't know, stir up something. I've never done anything that would disrespect anybody that I care about. I've always been very motivational and very positive and supportive, and always been there and always been in communication. And there's never been a week that's gone by that I've never kept in touch with people that I care about, and a lot of times every other day for some people. And I just feel like somebody threw a wrench in the gears and jammed everything up. And I don't know if this is an individual that's not even family, but an outside person who may be hanging out with someone who is considered friends or family, them saying something to someone who says something to someone because they get upset about something because, hey, they just, they don't, maybe they want something. Maybe they got some issues. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I wish I knew. Like I said, life is short. People shouldn't be acting this way. Because I start, like, in my head, I'm like, well, what the hell can I possibly have done to anybody? Especially if I got a lot of people that are close to me that are physically not close to me as far as, mileage and, roads, driving and stuff. Like, I'm close to people in the heart, in love and emotionally, but, there could be 1,000 miles between us, or 600, 500 miles, whatever it may be. That doesn't change anything when it comes to how you feel about them or how your heart, is so connected to them. But it just seems like somebody has nothing better to do but, try to start something or break off the ties with people that are important to you. This is like, remember, like in high school, maybe you had a special friend, and somebody might get jealous of you because you're hanging out with this person, and then they try to sabotage that friendship so that they can somehow, maybe get that and be part of that friendship, or make that person look bad so they can kind of just get in their position and move that other person out of the way. It's just, to me, this is like high school crap. It's like somebody might say, okay, well, you had a friend, you took them out to a fancy restaurant, you treated them like a queen. Then you had another friend, you took them out to some place, but maybe you just didn't have enough money to treat them out to the same restaurant, so you had to take a budget, go to a budget restaurant, so you spent like a fraction of what you did on the other friend. And all of a sudden, the other friend didn't know that you took them out to the fancy restaurant, right? The friend that you took to the less fancy, the cheap restaurant, doesn't know that you had another friend that you took to a fancy steakhouse or lobster place, whatever, a seafood place. Then some random person who knows both of them people said, oh yeah, did you know that? He just took this person out to that fancy restaurant, all that stuff. And then the other person said, well, yeah, he just took me out, but he's like, took me out to this really cheap place. Something like that, where someone is trying to stir up something. And then once that happens, it's like a domino effect. It's like, wow. So if you hang out with somebody and you're friends with somebody, you take them somewhere, and maybe you had a good week or a good month with your business, and so you were able to afford to maybe take them out to a better place. And, then you take another friend out somewhere, maybe a week or two later, and you're not having a good week or a month, and you got to like cut, expenses back. And then all of a sudden, that person knows what you've done between the two people, like, because you're talking to this person, you think you trust this person. So yeah, I took them out to this place, fancy restaurant. And then you say, well, what happened to the other person? I go, yeah, well, we went out to this place, whatever, just a basic restaurant. And then he tells that person, oh yeah, he took this person out to a fancy restaurant and you got crapped on. You got nothing but a cheap burger, What the hell is that about? And this is what I feel like is happening. I feel like some of these things are happening to people that are close to me, where people are saying these things. And people might, it's a misunderstanding. Sometimes there's this sense of entitlement where you have some people who have this sense of entitlement where they think, it's got to be, even Steven, this has to be exactly this way. If I had to be even Steven with everybody in my life, I would be broken, broker than I am now. I wouldn't even be able to live anywhere, because I feel like every friend or any person I'd been with that I had to, that I went somewhere, spent this dollar on that, spent on this and that. If I had to give everybody equal treatment, if dollar for dollar, I'd be homeless. I'll tell you right now, I'd be homeless, because I just can't do that. You know what I mean? And then some people make assumptions because, say, someone that acquires something that's expensive, and they're going to think that I have something to do with it when I don't. I have nothing to do with it at all. I did not, support anybody with any financial, things as far as anybody getting anything nice and fancy or new. No, I have nothing to do with any of that. I won't even sign loans for anybody, because I don't. They'll laugh at me with my income. The income that I'm making, ain't nobody gonna sign a loan for me for anything. So that's another thing. When you have friends, and they may have known that you signed a loan for somebody, for a friend of yours or someone who's close to you, like I said, friends, family. Oh, you signed a loan for them, but you're not signing a loan for me. Then they feel like, oh, well, what, you don't care about me? You're not, we're not friends anymore. You know what I mean? Is this a sense of entitlement? Is this being like, I don't feel equal. I don't feel the same. You know what I mean? And the bottom line is that it all comes down to, I feel like the people that I have been in communication with for all these years, people close to me, good friends, family, you name it. I just feel like somehow a wall has just been dropped down, and all communications have just been cut off, and I don't know what the cause is. I don't know what it is. I'm just clueless, and my mind starts to wander like, well, what could I have possibly done living all the way down here, far away from everybody, haven't been anywhere, haven't been around anybody, haven't said anything, hasn't done anything other than just living my life. And all I could think of is maybe that somebody felt like they didn't get treated fairly, or treated out fairly, or, the quality of the restaurant one person went to is not the same as the other. Maybe everybody's just trying to calculate everything. Oh, well, you spent more time with this person than you did with that person, so I feel less of a friend or less loved because of that, man. And then I think that mentality of mine starts to affect my clarity. And then I start thinking that my friends, that, they just behave like I'm a good friend, but then I don't get invited to certain things, that they invite other people to, like random people. They'll invite random people to special events or parties or something. And I'll be like, okay, so I thought we were friends, but yeah, I wasn't invited to this or invited to that, but yet we're close friends. And then it starts to make you think, well, are you really a close friend? Or is this just, is it just spoken words? You ever been in a friendship where you're with somebody and you hang out with them and you feel like you're good friends, but then you feel like you don't get the attention. Like, say if another friend comes over and you have a couple of friends together, then you kind of feel like you're pushed to the side, you're like the third wheel now. I get that from some of my friends. I feel like that And these are some good friends. I feel like I end up being a third wheel. Like, I'm just kind of pushed to the side, and I'm like, I'm no longer like, I don't know. I just feel like, oh yeah, he's there, whatever. And then I'm like, hello, I'm here. Am I forgotten about? What's going on? And I don't know if that makes me emotionally needy in a friendship. Is that like, am I being extra needy because of this whole cancer thing? Is this like, I'm so needy, I'm so scared right now because of cancer, what it does to people, what it's taking lives. And I'm like, oh, I'm having all these issues. And the doctor found this blood, and he wants to do a colonoscopy and do other diagnostics, but I cannot get clearance I can't get clearance to do it. I have a set date to get the colonoscopy done, which I put off. There was one I was supposed to do 3 years ago. I put it off because I didn't want to take the prep, because I was afraid the prep was going to cause a heart block, because it was going to cause, my heart to stop because of the excessive amount of magnesium causing your heart rate to go down and your heart to just go and stop. And so I was like, okay, I'll wait it out. Wait until I have better insurance and all that, and hey, and then just time went by. Here I am down here. And now that the gastroenterologist won't even allow me to go to my scheduled appointment after I had been to the doctor and other issues were discovered. And now we're at this point where, okay, well, now you have to see a cardiologist to get clearance in order to get the procedures done. In order to get this done, in order to get that done, you need to have clearance from a heart doctor. So now I'm going to be like wondering what is going on. I got to get clearance from a heart doctor. I still have swollen inguinal lymph nodes. They haven't gone down. This has been almost 2 months now. I got, like I said, the paperwork, the ultrasounds came back. Doctor looked at the ultrasounds, all these things happen. And now that they've found blood in places that blood's not supposed to be found, they want to do further investigating, further diagnostics. But of course, this involves taking a prep that has excessive amount of magnesium, which is part of clearing out your bowels. And this magnesium could cause your heart rate to go down really low because of the excessive amount of magnesium, how it affects your body. And considering that right now, my diagnosis, like with my heart, they call it bradycardia. Okay, bradycardia is having a heart rate, your heart rhythm is under 60 beats per minute. And for some, there is some medical research says anything under 50. Now, my heart rate goes down to about 38 beats per minute on when I'm resting, when I'm sitting on the sofa at night resting, watching something relaxing. If I'm watching something that's going to cause adrenaline to pump, it's not going to be no 38. But it lingers between 38 to 45, beats per minute, in resting. So that became a big issue with my gastroenterologist when I mentioned that, because I, this time, wanted to make sure that it was clear, that it was known that, hey, I've been dealing with this, but the doctors have never, ever caught the heart rate. They never caught my heart rate down that low, because whenever I go to the doctors, my heart rate is up. Don't you know? Like, anxiety does this, right? When you go to the doctors, is your heart rate going to be relaxed? Are you going to be relaxed? Probably not. So when you go there, your heart is pounding a little bit faster than it would be if you're at home, relaxed in your place, just, calm thoughts, relaxing thoughts. You're more likely to have a lower heart rate than when you're, getting right into the doctor's office and they're already taking your blood pressure, getting your heart rate, getting your oxygen levels, they're getting your weight and all that stuff. All that stuff is like, okay, here I am, doctor's office. My heart's already pounding faster than normal. You know what I mean? And that's the thing right there. That's the thing right there, okay? So I'm right now feeling pain every day, and I don't understand what's going on, and it's scaring me. I'm having stabbing pains. Like, you ever have these pains? Maybe you guys have this. Um, it feels like a burst of pain. Well, it'll happen randomly throughout your body. It'll just be like somebody took a knife and just kind of stabbed you somewhere, twisted the blade, took it out real quick. Okay, and then it'll happen again in some other random place, and then some other random place, and it's like it might happen every 10 seconds, every 20 seconds, every 30 seconds, maybe every minute, maybe every 5 minutes. And mine's happening in places, in some places I'd rather not even mention. I'm sure you guys know the no zones, but I'm just telling you, when you got a couple of punching bags, and you're not punching them, they shouldn't hurt. But when you're having this jabbing pain that just like comes every, like 30 seconds or so, and you just, certain position you're standing or sitting just amplifies the pain when it does somehow surge through your certain areas of your body. And then my muscles were twitching in my arm so bad that my arm was almost ready to smack my head. I was just crazy. Like I got up in the morning and my whole arm, the muscle was literally, my whole arm was like shaking because it was like twitching so much. And like all these things are happening, and I'm like having abdominal discomfort and pain, and I feel like I'm like stuff's trying to regurgitate out of my mouth, when I'm getting up, and then it's like I'm feeling these, just like this constant pressure in my stomach, and it's like, come on now, like I'm still waiting back from the cardiologist, so that I can get in there and get things checked out, because I might need a pacemaker. I don't know. I am taking lisinopril hydrothiochloride. So if you guys know what lisinopril hydrothiochloride is, it's manufactured from Lupin Labs, and basically it's an ACE inhibitor and also a diuretic. So it's like, taking 20 milligrams of lisinopril and 12.5 milligrams of dihydrochloride. And that's a diuretic, so that will flush out sodium and potassium, and also could affect your heart rate, but not substantially like beta blockers would. We're totally different ballpark there, because then you got medicine that actually does lower your heart rate to help reduce the strain on your heart, to help reduce the blood pressure. But I cannot take anything but ACE inhibitors. I can't do the beta blockers because that would make my heart rate way too slow, which it would deprive my vital organs of oxygenated blood, which you need when you're, of course, living. You need to have a certain oxygen level. And those are my main concerns with bradycardia, is at nighttime when your resting heart rate is down at its most minimal, that your body is still getting sufficient amount of oxygenated blood circulating, because your heart, pumps it through your body. Now, if your heart is beating very slowly, then there is a longer lapse between blood that's oxygenated being circulated, passing, of course, the blood that's not oxygenated passing through your lungs, then getting oxygen. So that cycle takes longer. And my fears are, is there damage at night when I'm sleeping, when my heart rate goes down to really low because of the bradycardia, and I'm waking up in the morning with, really like achy joints, aches everywhere, my stomach's feeling off, my head feels off, like I just, pains, body pains, and then these jabbing pains that come like every 30 seconds in different parts of my body. And like, whoa, what is this what cancer is about? Is this what, am I dealing with stage 3, metastasized cancer? Is there a cancer that has spread? Is it rectal cancer that has spread somewhere? Is it colon cancer that spread somewhere? Is it, is it testicular cancer that has metastasized? Is it something that, is it spreading? Is that why I got swollen lymph nodes, and, inguinal lymph nodes are swollen? Ultrasounds show them, and they obviously are swollen. And of course, with the report, they don't mention anything that steers to cancer, but you got to be your own advocate. You got to watch out for yourself, because just because, an ultrasound says one thing, you got to make sure that you find second opinions. and also do some more research. This where you can go that's going to get. What's happening here? Is this thing even working? You got to figure out where to go that offers that best kind of medical treatment and service and diagnostics based on your situation. And, ultrasounds are not always 100%. Like, they're going to rule out cancer. No, you got to get a biopsy. You got to go further and you got to investigate further just to rule out anything that's swollen, to make sure that it is not, cancerous, and make sure it's benign. You know, I know there's some traits of things that are cancerous that will show up, obvious in an ultrasound, that will stand out different, as far as statistics in size and shape and just different. You have vascular differences, that opposed to something that's benign. And so those things do equate to maybe 85% accuracy, somewhere in that ballpark, right? But still, there's always that percentage that you got to be careful about. And so I have what they call, I guess, anxieties. Like, we all have our anxieties, right? And the doctor, discovering blood were, in the rectal area. And my lifestyle would not even make this something possible. Especially when I eat healthy, I'm constantly eating vegetables, lots of fiber, just me. And only things come out of that and nothing goes in that end, because that's just the way I am. Okay. And for each his or her own, but I'm just telling you like it is. So there should be no reason. Now, there's some benign things like hemorrhoids, and I've dealt with something like that 25 years ago. And, but it was, I figured if that was a cancer 25 years ago, I'd probably be like, I wouldn't be here right now. And so my mind is like, maybe it's benign. Maybe it's just hemorrhoids. Maybe I'm okay. But why am I feeling all these other things in the recent months now? Like in the last month, I've been feeling like things that have like share symptoms with cancer that has spread to your bones, like feeling the pain in your joints, and you don't know if it's in your bones and in your muscles, or like everything is aching. I'm like, I'm not doing anything different than I normally do. And then I'm feeling the extra pain. Now I just can't wrap my head around that this would be because I'm getting older. Like, I don't feel older. I just feel more pain coming and going. It's unexplained. I still have the same energy. I still can just go nonstop. The other fear is like, I'm losing so much weight. I don't know where that weight's going. Like, I haven't been trying to lose weight, but 30 pounds is gone, disappeared somewhere. And you guys, in the live streams you've mentioned, or even in videos, you've lost some weight. I have friends tell me I've lost some weight. I had family tell me I lost some weight. I had someone else in my family say, hey, what do you look like? You lost about 20, 25 pounds. And I'm like, do I really want to hear that? I mean, some people who are trying to lose weight would love to hear that. But when you're, just doing your normal thing every day, just trying to stay healthy like you have, and, like I have been, and then someone's saying, oh, you lost a lot of weight. And it's almost like they're kind of concerned in a way, in their tone of voice, like, oh, you lost a lot of weight. And it's like, okay, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Am I supposed to be worried now? Or are you worried? Is somebody worried? Are we all worried? So with that in my head, I'm like, okay, unexplained weight loss. In the last 3 years, I've lost 30 pounds. That's 10 pounds a year. But before that, I was consistently the same weight all the time. I have no idea. What's with the decline in weight? Is there a correlation between the pandemic and my weight loss? Because when the pandemic came, I no longer went out to eat. Is there a relation? But majority of my weight got dropped off in the last 18 months. That is when I lost most of my weight, in the last 18 months. So the 30 pounds that I lost, the majority that I lost of that 30 pounds, I lost within 18 months. Even though 3 years ago I was 30 pounds heavier. So that's what I don't understand. Like, the math doesn't seem to add up. It's not like a gradual thing over time. So, when you have these thoughts and you turn to Dr. Google, and I've turned to Dr. Google so many years ago that I have like a database of all this stuff in my head that I could just recall instantly when I feel a symptom or that. I'm like, okay, well, it could be either this or that. And then I go back to, I think about what I've consumed, what kind of lifestyle I live, the things that irritate me, the foods I avoid, and all this. And then I come up to a conclusion or a hypothesis or whatever you want to call it. I come up with an idea. Okay, well, it's got to be this or that. And then I'll do some research to get some current medical, opinions. And sometimes that's the big mistake. Don't always Dr. Google stuff because that's going to really cause problems. So this is my explanation of why I have not been on YouTube lately, because I have been in another place, in a dark place emotionally. I am so scared, so worried that my days are numbered, that my time is short here, and that and part of me thinks, okay, so I have a cancer, I got something that's spread because I'm feeling these pains, I got swollen lymph nodes with no other explanation to why they're swollen in places that normally don't swell, and for almost 2 months now that staying swollen, and then finding like I'm starting to find another lymph node that feels like it's getting bigger on the left side, and I'm like, well, this feels bigger than it did before. I don't understand, like, why is that getting bigger now? And so now I'm starting to think, okay, what's happening? Is there cancer spreading throughout my lymph nodes? And next, my lymphatic system is just like the passageway or highway for, the spread of cancer. Is it going to be like going up this way now? Am I going to get it up in my neck? Is it going to be under my face? Is it going to be under my arms? Is it going to be my chest? Like, where's it going to go now? And so that's where I am, okay? And now you understand why I'm so stressed about, people that are important in my life not communicating with me, cutting me out, because, if all this ends up being cancer and the doctor says, oh, well, you have 18 months to live, you have 2 years to live, maybe, whatever, your chance of survival, is maybe, for 5 years is like, 60%, 40%, 30%, on the good end, it would be 80, 90%, right? If it's something that's like early stage, but when you go to stage 3, that, it depends on what it is. You can have 15% chance, 20, it's a scary thing to let your mind go in this dark place. And so the last thing I want is to have a disconnect from people that are very important to me in my life, because right now I need to be connected with them more than ever. This is a time in my life where I just need that emotional support. I need that reassurance that, hey, we're all here, we're in this together, that there's no bad blood anywhere. Whatever misunderstandings there are, that's under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. It's like, it's over. Like, I don't let the past, dictate the present and the future. The past is the past. We have to stop living in the past and live for now. If there's mistakes I made in the past, don't punish me now. Don't punish me now in a time of my life where I am in my worst state of mind emotionally when it comes to this whole cancer thing, this whole cancer anxiety, this scare, the things that I'm feeling. It's all like I should have stopped the research and stuff when I was like younger, and I should stop Googling stuff even now, because I'm feeling pains that, that don't have no explanation other than, like, when you have a pain and there's no obvious explanation, then you start thinking, well, okay, it's either cancer or it's some kind of neurological disease, something, neuropathy. It could be, there's a couple other diseases out there, fibromyalgia, right? Say there's diseases where you're hypersensitive, your nerves are hypersensitive, and they're very reactive, and so you can feel pain, which normally would be maybe a regular sensation to someone else. So maybe a scratch on the arm or a tickle can feel like pain. So there's certain things that can cause these things. You can have high blood sugar, diabetes could lead to neuropathy in many places, retinal neuropathy, throughout your body can have neuropathy in your feet, your legs, arms, but hands, whatever, poor circulation. A lot of things can happen. So it's like trying to pinpoint things. Okay, well, my blood sugar is normal. It's in the normal range. My fasting, even when I'm eat after I eat, everything is within the normal range. So I rule out diabetes or anything like that. And kidney issues, liver issues can cause other things. And the thing that was worrying me is the constant itching of my skin, like in the evenings. You know, it would just randomly itch. Mainly, it would be my abdominal area would be itching, and then sometimes my back between my shoulder blades would be itching, and there's nothing there, no bugs, there's no rash, just itching. And that kind of itching could be brought on by cancer, can do that. And also, if you have any problems with your liver, your kidneys, you can have itching. Or anxiety can cause skin itching. Reactions to certain medications can cause that, dry skin. But when you have it with no visible, any kind of rash or anything that's giving you any evidence of, hey, this is that or not, it's like it just itches with no anything, no pimples, no scratches, no rash. It's just an itch, and it's like it's there, and it lasts maybe an hour or so, and it's gone. And it usually happens every evening. Unexplainable, and I've been getting that for years, but it just seemed like it got worse in my abdominal area, and I feel like it even got worse when I stopped taking allergy medication when I first moved down this way. I feel like that was kind of a withdrawal reaction, which that was a nightmare. But here I am, guys. I'm still here. Cancer hasn't taken me, although it feels like it's trying to knock at my door, or whatever it is. The anxieties of cancer is knocking on my door, and I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to fight this because we don't know. I don't know what it is yet. I'm waiting for the cardiologist to give me clearance. I feel like sometimes doctors just take their time. They take their time doing things. You know what I mean? Like, come on, move it along. I want to know what's going on. Like, I want to get this done. I want to know if I'm able to get clearance to do this. So do we have to do this? Or do we have to do an ablation to my heart? We have to do this. Or we got to do a pacemaker. Is there anything that needs to be done? Maybe the bradycardia is just my norm for me. Everybody has their own norm, right? Their own normal for them. That could be something that's normal for me. And as long as it's asymptomatic and I'm not feeling lightheaded or dizzy or not feeling like as long as my O2 levels are not low, maybe this is fine, right? But this is why I need to get that opinion from that doctor to make sure that I have the clearance to do this stuff. Now, let me read some comments. And sorry that I've been rambling on about medical stuff, but hey, I owe you guys, I feel like I owe you an explanation of why I have been missing in action, why I have been gone. And for some reason, a video had uploaded on this channel, and I didn't upload any videos. I did not upload any videos in the last couple of weeks, I think, maybe even a month. I don't even know. I just happened to get a notification of getting comments, and I'm like, ooh, I usually don't get all the comments. So I kind of got a lot of comments like I do when I get a new video up. I'm like, well, what's going on? So I check, and then I noticed that one of my videos went public. I'm like, okay, well, this is a private video. See, I had to set a video private from like a little over a year ago, something like that. It was a members only video. It was an early access video. I set it private. I had another video. It was like a duplicate video, but I think it might have been a couple minutes difference in time. It was like a different format, but it was the same video basically. And it was me out in a tunnel, exploring a tunnel. And I've already had publicized, I already had uploaded that like back then, a year or so ago. And then I noticed that video for the private video, the private version of the video ended up being public. So then it looks like a new upload, even though it was uploaded over a year ago. YouTube made it public, which makes it look like a new upload. And then you get notified. And then now everybody's like, hey, you just uploaded this. Why are you uploading an old video? But I didn't upload anything. So, you know what I mean? So then I'm starting to think, okay, YouTube has gone a little glitchy. Now, what if I have other private videos that are supposed to stay private, and what if they end up public? So I started deleting some private videos because I was afraid some of those private videos that were only intended for friends and family, that have no business being public on YouTube. I had to delete them because I was afraid they were going to go public, like out of the blue. So be careful when you upload anything. You don't know when something's just going to automatically go public. You can have a private video that, your friend doesn't want to be on YouTube, but you recorded something with them, and, just for your own personal use that you can watch on YouTube. Only you can see it, or you can share it with friends with a link. And then YouTube somehow makes it go public, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute here. So yeah, okay. I didn't upload anything recently. If you saw something the other day, it's because YouTube made one of my old videos that I had private public, if that makes any sense. That's the way things end up sometimes. You get technology that goes a little crazy. Lord, I've had over 200 videos. That shows that I saved. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Tina, hopefully it'll be fine. I think the problem is, with me and having this, just I guess a channel that's pretty big channel. I don't know, comparatively to those that just have little small private channels. I don't know. Maybe I think when you have a different kind of YouTube thing going on, it might be more possible. I don't know. It's kind of maybe like a random thing. It can happen to anybody. Hey, Strawberry 40, thank you so much for your support here. Best advice to you is to end up in the hospital. Get up every day and get out of bed, even if you just sit in a chair in your room. Absolutely. I can't sit still for anything. Like, I walk every day. I even have, when I have company, I have friends that come over, and it's like, sometimes I feel like even if I have, friends that stay for, a few days, I feel like I'll be an inconvenience. I don't want to abandon them by going for my long walks. And I'm like, hey, you just want to go walk with me? And it's like, yeah, but then I feel like maybe I'm dragging them around walking more than they're comfortable with walking. But that's just me. I love to walk. And I feel like it helps my emotional health as well as my physical health, and I don't only just walk. Sometimes I'm like running and riding my bicycle. So it's not just walking. I do it, and I lift weights. I lift weights. And so that's stuff that I do to keep busy. I probably shouldn't be in this end of the house, because when I go in this end of the house, I end up losing my signal because the router is all the way on the other side of the house. And I got to be careful about that. I was going to show you out here outside, because there is a, see, that's another thing. Like, I'm getting pain in my arm. Just, I don't know what's going on. Bobby needs sponsored by New Balance. There you go, New Balance. I don't think if I can hear it. There was a Chuck Will's widow out here chirping away. You guys ever hear a Chuck Will's widow chirping? They're related to the whippoorwill. Man, it's out here all the time. I feel like it's stalking me. It's like I'll go out there. One day I played it on my phone because I recorded it. I played it on my phone out there, and it swooped down and almost got me in the head. I mean, it literally, I think I was responding to the audio on my phone because I recorded it doing the bird call at night, because these birds are nocturnal. They're like making calls at nighttime. And so when I played it, the bird came out of the tree, swooped down at me. I'm like, oh, damn. That's okay. Well, and these birds, if you ever seen a Chuck Will's widow's mouth, you'd understand why it can be a little creepy, because their mouth is so big, they could probably swallow a freaking, maybe even a rat or something. They could swallow a mouse easily. I'd never seen a bird with a big mouth like that, other than a pelican. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. Oh, my. Bobby, I love your tortoises. Yeah, they're out here in the yard. And they're all over the place, They're all over the place. They're just minding their own business. Hey, Amy, how you doing? Trying my best to survive the millennium. There you go. Yeah, 1950s, huh? Mamma mia. I swear I lose 10 pounds every visit with him. There you go, huh? Yeah, see, that's the thing, It's like I did an experiment. I was like, okay, I'm going to eat extra food. I'm going to introduce some coconut oil, into my cooking again because I used to have coconut oil, a lot. So I'm going to add more into my cooking, more consistently. I'm going to just have that one extra snack during the day. I'm trying to see if I'm able to gain weight to see, because if I feel like if I'm able to gain weight, then I feel less stress thinking, well, because, when you have cancer and you lose weight, it's because, a lot of times the cancer just makes you not want to eat. You get maybe nauseous or you get stomach issues or your cancer is just creating, it's burning more calories because it's like, it's basically leaching off of your body. So it's using up your energy. And so you're burning more calories. So you lose weight because of the balance of what's going in versus what's getting burnt. And when you're normally doing your exercise routine, you're normally your usual walking and everything, and then say you got a cancer, and then that's using up more energy and then burning more calories in itself. So when you have weight loss that's unexplained, and you're doing the same amount of walks and you're eating the same amount of food, and you're like, well, I'm losing this weight, I'm doing my normal thing, something leaching off of me, using more calories, burning more energy. Um, and you think, okay, so either you have, worms, tapeworms, or you got some kind of parasitic thing living in your body, or you got cancer. And those things do kind of get to your mind and they overwhelm you. So what I thought I would do is just like eat extra food and see if I'm able to gain weight. And, because I don't know if I was losing muscle or not. I can't tell. Like, I don't know if I'm losing muscle mass or just body fat. I wish I had someone who had an eye for that to know the difference, and say, oh, yeah, Bobby, you look fine. You're not losing muscle, just you're losing extra fat. That's, your muscles look more defined. I don't know. I'm not getting that because I have nobody to give me that kind of opinion. And so I can't tell by looking in the mirror if I'm losing muscle or just fat. You know what I mean? I can't tell looking at myself, but I feel strong. I feel muscular as far as like when I do my push-ups and lifting my weights. I don't feel like I am struggling with any of that. Although doing crunches and sit-ups, stuff like that, is a little challenging because my stomach just doesn't feel right, and I feel like it's just it's aggravating it some more. You know, and I haven't been doing a lot of those lately, but then I started doing. I said maybe I need to do some of that. Maybe I need to balance the amount of physical activity and work the inner area of my stomach. Kind of maybe get that muscle stronger. Maybe there's something going on there. And sometimes I feel like this. If I have a clear mind and I did a lot of exercising and you know that benefits you both emotionally and physically, right? Working out, exercising, just getting that high they call it, the exercise high. So, hopefully this will all, be benign stuff. Like I said, it's legit. I'm living with legit anxiety, and it's really messing up the quality of my life. I'm not enjoying things right now in my life because I'm so wrapped up in this cycle right now. It's really destroying the quality of my life because all I keep thinking is, all right, I got cancer. It's just a matter of being told how much time I got left. And that's kind of where my mind is right now. And I don't want to be in that. I don't like where I am right now. I mean, I love where I live right now, but I don't like that my mind is in that place. And I wish I can get out of it. I wish somebody can talk me out of it. I wish that there was a way to just get out of this mindset. But I'm kind of the person is like, when I see it, I believe it. And even sometimes when I do see it, I don't always believe it. And sometimes when a doctor says one thing, I still don't believe it. So it's like the doctor can say, I don't have cancer, right? And I'm still not going to believe it. And I'm going to want another doctor. And then I might end up going to 3 different opinions before I can believe anything. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where my mind is. It's like, when am I ever going to realize, that hey, when the doctor says this, maybe after the third doctor, maybe the third doctor's right, and maybe the one that was before that who said the same opinion is right. I don't know. Tina G, thank you so much for that super sticker. Thank you, $2 there. Thank you so much, guys. I'm sorry about this. I want to do paranormal stuff. Let me know. Should I go places. I don't want to stir things up in here because I've learned a lesson and it's quieted down ever since I stopped trying to get attention from stuff. And so it's like the one worry that I had, it's like it kind of shifted that worry to a whole other place because I was so caught up. You remember like last time I was so caught up in this whole paranormal thing. I was like wondering what's going on. I thought somebody was stalking me. I thought somebody was messing with me. And I was so wrapped up in it. And now that I kind of drew my focus away from it, I was able to, I guess, be more aware about and be more aware of my own self, be more aware of my own bodily functions and feelings that I have. And I think that extra awareness and I guess clarity caused me to have anxieties because I was feeling things that started to make me question myself that maybe I wasn't feeling because I was so distracted by everything that was going on and the attention I was bringing to whatever's been happening, whether it's, my mind just wandering because maybe there was maybe it's the sun heating the roof up and there's, expansion going on in the attic and it's causing cracking sounds and, maybe light flickering is just, we have issues with technology. Things could go malfunctioning and my mind's wandering. Oh, it's got to be paranormal. When this happens, and that happens, my mind starts to wander. But I'm not going to stop believing that there's paranormal. So a part of me is like, okay, this is real. This is legit. Something attached to me, something followed me here. And there's a side of me that says, okay, what's going on here? What is really going on here? And so that's kind of where I am. And so now that I've just stopped focusing on the things that were happening, the sounds I was hearing, I'm focused on my health so much right now, trying to get answers. Maybe I'm tuning all the other things out. Maybe things are still happening, but I'm not aware of it because I'm so fixated on something else now. And so everything else, I'm kind of like tunnel vision, I'm focused on something else. And so the other things are just kind of in the background, being unnoticed. Kind of like how I've been feeling right now with friends and family. Kind of like I'm being unnoticed. Like I'm in the background, on the third wheel. Or just cut them off, don't talk to them anymore because, because of this person, says, oh yeah, he makes YouTube videos. Maybe there's someone who, doesn't like me making YouTube videos, so they're not going to talk to me no more. I don't know. That's the thing. So if you have friends, I guess you got to tell them everything, right? Like if you have a YouTube hobby, don't leave that out, right? I mean, if that's a detail, because it's like this: when you have friends and family, you have people in your life who may be old-fashioned. They don't understand YouTube, and so it's like it's not something that you have in common with them when it comes to YouTube. So it's like, why is it even a topic to bring up? Why is it a topic to talk about? Like, it's not going to be relevant to them. They don't even have social media. They're not into that. So, well, why bother? Let's talk about something that's more relevant to that generation or that lifestyle. And no sense of bringing up YouTube. Like, why? And so when that happens, maybe you have someone in your life that's a friend or family. And they're like, well, why didn't you tell me you made YouTube videos? And maybe they feel like they've been deceived or something. Like, is it deceiving somebody because you don't. Yeah. Oh, by the way, before, I make YouTube videos and I'm running around chasing paranormal and, we had a stalker clown running around the house and dealing with this and that and sharing just all the fun moments of my life, going on vacation, spoiling my family, providing a lifestyle that not many people would, many kids would ever dream of, because I worked my butt off to provide and did what I can and still had the time to make YouTube videos and share some of that excitement online. But I've always been that very protective parent. And when it came to just personal information, all that stuff. And, you have that choice, once you get out there on social media. Hey, do you want to put yourself out there? Do you want to continue? And, nobody was ever like, oh, you got to be in my videos forever. No, it's like, if you don't like it, just let me know, no problem. And but like I said, no problems. Like anyone who was in my videos, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to set an example. Like I did share some fun family moments, but I deleted over 700 videos over the years because, it's like, I don't know, me going to the beach, taking my family out to there and here and there. It was all fun, but it's like, I'd rather just not have it out there. You know what I mean? I'd rather just focus on me, focus on what's going on in my life now instead of letting the past, looking back at the past. Although I do have many memories on camera of all this stuff, but not on YouTube. But, like of me going on vacation, taking my family places, enjoying the fun things. And that's just, it's always been that way. And, I know my family is very thankful for what I was able to provide in their lives, and yeah, I've talked to one of my younger daughters. She's doing good. You've seen her in videos before. Especially during the whole clown thing. So all is good there. No problems with that. Like I said, when I'm talking about this whole friend and family thing, like I said, friends are like family and friends are family. So I have some people that are just kind of, it's like they cut the switch off on me and I don't know why. Okay. Now, is it just me and my mind's going in dark places and just like, I'm just thinking that I've done something wrong when I didn't? Because I know I didn't do anything wrong other than living my life trying to get by, making an honest dollar, really just pretty much stressing to try to earn money. And I kind of got some opportunities with DoorDash. They were paying a little bit extra a night, but the problem is my auto insurance, I can only go so many miles and then I lose my low mileage discount. And then the other tricky thing is if something happens when I'm delivering food, is my insurance going to pay? For any, like if somebody, an accident happens. Because when I lived in the other state before I moved, my insurance covered that. But now it's kind of like I'm trying to get answers, but nobody's giving me a straight answer. And I have the same insurance company, but each state has a different law. So I'm like, okay, so here in Georgia, what's the deal with the car insurance? Even though I had that coverage, in the other state, am I going to have it here as well? And like nobody, it's like, I don't know. They just don't know anything. And my insurance rates went up for homeowners insurance and the car insurance jumped up all because they had the wrong zip code in there to begin with. I'm like, oh, come on, somebody. So I'm like, I can't even do deliveries without worrying about whether or not it's going to be a liability. So, the only way I can make deliveries is on my bicycle. That's the reality of that, and my electrician's job is no longer existing. So that's gone. That's over with. They wanted me to go 3 hours somewhere, but then there was a review. I had like it's kind of like I was on probation when I started the company. It's kind of like they want to see how good you perform before they give you full-time pay. And that's where I was. And then I just had some anxieties when it came to COVID and a couple other things and protocol and the quality of work that they were doing. And it's like, I have higher standards of quality. And I was like, I can't stand behind this kind of work when everybody else is taking shortcuts and doing sloppy work. And then I'm working for a company that's doing sloppy work. And that just makes me look bad. And I can't change the whole company. Like if I do something good and everybody else is doing things half-ass, it looks good on my part, but then all of a sudden I'm the weakest link because I'm taking too long because I'm doing things the right way. So I'm not working fast enough. I wasn't working fast enough doing the electrical work to keep up with everybody because everybody was just cutting corners and moving much faster and trading off quality for speed. And I'm about, quality, not getting things done super fast because I want things done right with quality. I don't want things done, let's just rush it and get it done fast. And that's kind of the kind of construction company I got caught up in when I was, working, doing the electrical work. They were just pumping out houses left and right. And the electrical work was, the contractors were like just trying to get in and keep up with the building of the homes and move on to the next one. And I'm about trying to get things done with quality. So I end up not getting that pay raise, and they still were going to pay me a lower amount of money and said, hey, well, if you want, we're going to be working in here. You can go there. And it's a freaking 3-hour drive. I'm like, okay, so what I'm going to do, stay at a hotel for a week, and for when and how long? So I turned that all down. Like, just no way. There's no way. My car insurance will go up in no time with all that driving. And then I got to pay for a hotel and all that. And, there's certain situations where they'll cover some of the hotel stay. But, me, I would rather be in an Airbnb or have my own room and not share it with somebody. Because when they do hotels, they're sharing. You have to share it with another person. And hell, if I'm going to be sharing a hotel with some stranger, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So this is where I stand. Okay, so I may have some people in my life that are close to me, friends, family, what have you, that may think that, oh, I have all this money, but I don't. Okay, they think, oh, maybe you're hiding money. Well, I'm not. I wish I was, and I wish I had it. But you know what? In the past, I had money in the past. I don't have it now. Everything is tied up in assets. Everything is tied up in what I own. Okay, everything is tied up in what I own, and then I owe money on top of that. So I'm living pretty much on what I have left to my savings and the $800 a month, between $600 to $800 a month that I receive income-wise. So that's where I stand. And having my medical insurance, and for me to qualify, I had to take money out of my IRA. I had to take money out of my IRA because this was one of the things I had taken money out of my IRA to pay some expenses of moving, right? And so I did a 60-day rollover, and my CPA said, well, hey, based on your income, you didn't make enough to qualify for, the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, the government subsidy. Because you can make too little to qualify. Then all of a sudden you drop into the Medicaid bracket. And then for that, there's different qualifications. And if you own a house or a car that's of a certain value, if you have like $1 over a certain amount in the bank, you disqualified for it because assets could affect you that way. Even though, those assets, you wouldn't be able to survive maybe 2-3 months on that, the amount of assets you have in the bank. So, but yet, that'd be too much for Medicaid, right? So it's kind of it's a tricky situation. So my accountant says, well, the only way that I can have more income is if they, count the IRA as a actual withdrawal, as a distribution and not a rollover. So that was a little complicated thing. I'm like, well, can you just I'll just not claim any business expenses, and let's just go that route. You know what I mean? So I had to basically just, work with my CPA, say, well, what is the way I can do this that's, of course, legal, because I always want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. So I get the advice of the CPA, and he leads me in the right direction. Well, this is what I got to do, because I was like, when I moved, I was like, okay, well, I was trying to run my business more, and I'll just use that as personal use. Let's not even bother using that as business expense. This is personal, you know what I mean? Because it's going to bring my income down too much, and I'm not going to qualify. And it's like, I didn't see this coming. It was like an unexpected situation came where I took a big drop of income, and it was even worse than before. I'm like, well, I didn't even have enough time to even do anything about it. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to take out money anyway because I need to cover these expenses. And so technically, when you take money out of your IRA, it's counted as income. It really is legit income. So when your CPA does your taxes, any money you take out of your IRA that you don't roll back into your IRA within 60 days is considered income. It's taxable income. So I had to be taxed on that income. So since I was taxed on that income, that brought my income bracket up to where I was able to qualify for the thing, even though my 2023 income would qualify me based on the fact that, I have all this time between now and then to make enough money to qualify. And I had a good start to the year, but then things dropped off again. But then there's DoorDash and me on a bicycle. And hey, bicycling and door dashing, it works out. It gives you good health, right? And you can make money. Just can't drive around in a Tesla right now. But anyway, you guys are amazing. Our car insurance is almost $300 a month. Holy crap. Holy shizzoli. I know prices are going up and everything. We have inflation and shrinkflation all happening at one time. Inflation, shrinkflation, it's crazy. I would go in a store, I'm like, man, I remember this used to be like a, 16-ounce, jar. Now it's a 14-ounce jar. Now this is a 12-ounce jar for the same price. I'm like, what's going on here? I don't know. Yeah, it's just crazy. But anyway, I thought I would just do a live stream, let you guys know what's happening. And, like I said, I got some people in my life that are just not talking to me. I have no idea why, I didn't say anything to anybody, didn't talk about anybody. All I've been doing is minding my own business down here in South Georgia, just doing my own thing, trying to get by, trying to make sure I don't go broke and spend too much money to the point where I'm beyond broke, because I'm not trying to cry poverty, but you see the house I'm living in, like, how can it be poverty? The thing is, my success in the past allowed me to have what I have, and I was able to transfer what I have when I moved. Get what I'm saying? Like, you can transfer your past wealth, your success, you can move it with you. When you have an asset that you have acquired over the years of success and you sell that asset, then you can get another asset with that asset that you sold and then move on. Doesn't mean that I could afford it, but I was able to do that. But someone in my position, if somebody was to live in this house, they would have to make a lot of money. I'm saying you probably have to make at least $100,000 a year to afford a mortgage and all this on a place like this, okay? The taxes, everything put together, okay? That's just the way it is. But when you sell a home and you put a big chunk down on it, and you have a little help from, I'm not gonna bring people into this, but when you have a little financial help with someone and you do a little kind of a sign on the paper agreement and all this stuff, and you kind of in that position to where you're able to do a little bit more, but you have to make income, because that time where you have to owe it back is going to come, even if it doesn't come every month. It's going to come when that payoff time comes in 2-3 years down the road. You got to be ready for it. And so I'm living for now, but I'm not going to stick anybody financially. I'm not that kind of person. But I got to do what I have to do to survive now, and then I worry about what happens later, if there is later, because who knows? Life is unpredictable. Life is short. There could be no tomorrow. So I have what I have because of the success I had and because of the decisions I made and how I was able to get in this position. Under normal circumstances, I would not be able to maintain or even be able to afford to live here on the income I have. But like I said, I did put money away and save money, so I take money out to pay the bills every month. But that's not going to last. That's going to evaporate. It's going to eventually evaporate, especially if I did not have health insurance and I had to pay all that out of pocket. I would be on the streets sooner than later. All right, anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on what's happening in this house. It's been a crazy experience lately. When it comes to the outdoors, and I'm not saying inside, I'm not talking about paranormal, I'm talking about outdoors, because there's been a lot happening in this neighborhood. They've been doing a lot of things. Somebody vandalized my front yard, dug it all up. I got video proof of that. I will share it with you. It wasn't, I don't know, technically, I feel like it was vandalism, but it was a company doing business, putting utility lines and wires down. And the problem is that they dug up my yard. They compromised one of my trees in my yard by cutting a taproot on it. Now I'm afraid the tree's gonna fall on my house. all these things that it's just stressing me out on top of my stress that I have, right? So now my newly sodded yard has been dug up like a giant 4 foot hole, by 2 feet wide, but then the pile of dirt was poured all over top of my grass, smashing the grass, putting dirt on it, making it look hideous, and then cutting a root this thick coming out of my tree. So I don't know if we have a windstorm, if that tree's gonna fall on the house now. So I've been outside trimming that tree the last couple of days, trying to get some of the branches, so it's not as big, so there's less weight on it, less wind resistance. So, I feel like they should have done something different to avoid that situation. On my property, digging up my grass on two parts, on two sides, because they had to run it under the driveway. So on one side and on the other side, they have this big giant snake that they go under the ground with and tunnel a hole under everything. And I'm like, come on now. Like, this is like my property, So, and then the HOA is probably going to get like, hey, you got to replace your lawn, or you got to do this. I'm like, well, I didn't do this. They messed up my yard, and now I got dead patches of grass, and I got a pile of sand. Like when they put the sand back in the hole, it's still like, no matter how much you rake it, you try to rake it out, and now like grass is coming out of the ground. It's like digging up the roots, trying to get the dirt out of like they should have laid down canvas on top of the grass to pour the dirt on top of, so they can put the dirt back in the hole neatly without leaving a bunch of mess of dirt embedded into the grass that you cannot get all the way out. So then you have like, looks like bare spots in your lawn because a big pile of dirt that covered it without any kind of tarp or anything under it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with some people? Crazy. Hey, what's going on? Is it Kyla, Big Action Papa? Hey, how you doing out there? That's the city for you. I'm telling you, man, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. Rolling with me. Much love and praise. I sent to you and just did a healing prayer. Thank you so much. Arlene, thank you so much. You guys are amazing out here. Paranormal Magnet. Bobby, ask your doctor if you can get an MRI of your entire body to help diagnose your problem. A PET scan is even better. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will definitely look into that. Like I said, I need to get answers. I need to find out what the hell's going on and why I'm feeling these jabbing pains. I'll read the chats too when I get a chance, when I have, I got a lot going on. But has any of you ever felt like these momentary like bursts of pain? It would be like a split second, almost like somebody just like poked you with something in like a nerve, like a pain in your muscle or skin or bone or anywhere on your body. It just like maybe even a shock, and it's just like it lasts for a split second, and it's like a pulse of pain. And then it goes away, and then it might go some other part of your body randomly and go away. It could be anywhere. It could be your thigh, your arm, your chest, your neck, your head, legs, groin area. It's like a pain. It's just like a poke of pain. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a constant pain. It's just like, whoa, it's almost makes you jump. It's like, damn, what the hell was that? It's almost like if you move and you pinch a nerve, and it's like you get that nerve, like that sudden, like, feeling, and you move the other way and it goes away. But when you get this feeling and you're not moving and it just randomly happens, you'll be sitting on a couch and it just out of nowhere it happens, as if you like moved and pinched a nerve, but you didn't do anything, but just sit there and you feel the pain in random places. And it's like, if you ever felt that before, let me know, because that is some weird, I don't know. That stuff to me, it's like when I have pain that's unexplainable, my mind thinks cancer, and until I get cleared with the colonoscopy and maybe all these other medical diagnostic, this imaging and stuff done, but I'm waiting on the cardiologist. And I hope the doctor had referred the message over to the cardiologist, because he said he was doing that. See, the gastroenterologist said, before I can get this done, I needed to get a referral. I needed to get clearance from the heart doctor. So he was going to be faxing over my physician a request to have them refer me to a cardiologist. And then like somewhere in that, I was like, I'm waiting now. And I called the physician. I'm like, okay, well, I was supposed to be referred to a cardiologist from my, like the the gastroenterologist said they were going to contact my primary physician so that they can go ahead and schedule me to get, refer me to a cardiologist so that I can go see them to see whether or not I'm able to get this procedure done, get some clearance. I feel like nobody's doing, it's like you hear one thing and nobody's doing nothing. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Ron Winarski, thank you so much for joining the membership here. I hate when I itch. My back itches and I can't reach it. Yes, it happens. And I get a stabbing pain in my side. And I know what you mean about the cancer. My dad's back started hurting and it was cancer. That's a scary stuff because I've been having back pains too. It's like lower pain than mid upper back. It would go all the way up to halfway up my back, especially in the morning when I get up. And then I have itching in my upper back between my shoulder blades, and I'll find myself like trying to itch my back on the corner of the wall. Some stuff I don't understand. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. And Leslie, thank you for being a member for 15 months. Holy crap. So yeah, guys, as you see, I tried to be positive. I tried to at least present this in a positive way without like being down and crying, or you know what I mean. Like, I'm already emotional because some of my good friends had a loss in their life. Someone, a member of the family very close to them. Even when it's a pet, it's still a member of the family. And so one of my good friends lost a pet, and it made me cry because of that situation. So I was emotional over it. So that was a sad moment for me to learn that. And it was like it broke my heart, getting that message about that. And I'm like, oh man, at first I thought, when my friend lost a pet, I thought maybe his pet got away, like maybe got loose or something. But then when I found out it was because it passed away, I was like, it really broke my heart. But yeah, that's just, oh man. But you guys are awesome, man. I'm just glad that you're here. It's like a big support group. Actually, it was Omar. Yeah, it was Omar. Yeah. I have ever checked for Lyme disease? No, but I tell you what, I cannot have steak. I get hives like half the time. It's a 50-50. 50-50 I get hives. If I have steak, it could be the crap they put into, to beef up the beef, if you know what I'm saying. I stopped eating steak about a couple of years ago. I used to have steak. I used to have like T-bone steaks. And I was like, okay, I'm getting hives. So then I switched to grass-fed steaks, and then like, okay, no more hives. But then all of a sudden, I started getting hives with the grass-fed steak. I'm like, okay. So now I'm still getting hives, but I was only getting it like half the time. With the grass-fed, like it was like 50-50. It was like a gamble. I might get it and I might not. All right, I love oh man, this T-bone steaks is so good. I wish I could just have one, but I just have my salmon, my chicken, my fish. It's pretty much it. And eggs, pasture-raised eggs. Rolling with me, I felt a lot recovering a year of dieting 3 times, a huge blood clot that went to my heart and lungs. So I hope everything is okay. Yeah, blood clots, that's a scary thing, just thinking about like blood clots, because you can have a pain in your thigh, you can have a pain anywhere, where you have a major, artery or something. It's just like blood can accumulate and clot up, cause some discomfort, and then it could dislodge. And then, unfortunately, some people get a stroke or kind of pulmonary embolism. Yes, there's a lot of bad things that happen when you have these things happening and you got clots just going through your blood. I don't know what that was. So with all that, it's like, I try to stay on top of my health the best I can and eat foods that promote, circulation and reduce the possibility of clotting, although you need some clotting, especially, you don't want to be having internal hemorrhaging, bleeding to death because you don't have any way for your blood to clot when you get a cut, or if you get any kind of, digestive issues, and, you don't want to, like, you just got to be careful. Yeah, you can get a stroke from hemorrhaging, you get a stroke from no blood flow, it's either one way or the other. Uh, but I got to go, guys. I'm so glad you came here. I promise we'll have some good content here. I just had to get this out of my system. I had to let you guys know what was going on, keep you guys in the loop, because I'm not letting you guys, just leaving you guys out, So you know where my mind is. I know some of you can relate to this. You've been in this situation before. You've dealt with it. You're like, okay, I understand why you haven't been on YouTube for a while. And I know, like, it's also when it comes to friends and family, like I said, friends are like family, and I got so many friends, and then I feel like some of them are just like not communicating with me anymore. And I've even, the last time I reached out to some of them was back in December and back around Thanksgiving. And it seemed like after that, like shortly afterwards, it was like, I got ghosted. I would message and nobody would respond. I'm like, well, that's not normal. That's not usual. Holidays went by and no kind of communication either way. And I'm like, what did I do now? It's kind of like, you feel like, what did I do wrong? I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything to deserve this. Like, it's somebody out there trying to, like, sabotage my relationships, my friendships. Somebody people are like that. You'll have people that just have nothing better to do because maybe they feel like I'm having a better life than them, or because maybe I live in a house or something and they live in an apartment, or maybe they live in a trailer or a camper or a tent. I don't know. I don't even know. I have friends that live in different kinds of places, but I helped out people as much as I can when I was able to do that financially. And other people out there that are upset because maybe someone else got a better, helping than the other person because it's a different time, different financial situation. And now they're coming back to say, oh, well, now he's living where he wants to all the way in Georgia. And I don't think it's fair that I have to live here in Arizona or wherever it is, or this state or South Carolina or Illinois or whatever. Like I'm saying, oh, well, I have to live this way. And, yeah, he's got that. But people don't understand, things don't always seem as they appear on the outside. It may look like I have everything, right? Oh, I got the house, I got this, I got that. But there's more to it than that. I worked my butt off to have what I have. Well, nothing was given to me. And I surely didn't, acquire this because, oh, there's Bobby. Let's just give him congratulations. We're going to give you a house for nothing. You don't have to earn it. Just have it. No, I worked for everything. Whether people believe it or not, that's how it all happened. It just didn't get handed to me. I invested in the stock market long in Apple and stuff back 20 something years ago. I can't even. It was a long time ago, and I cashed out on some of that stuff, but I kept it on a low down. I didn't tell much people. So I had a little bit of cash flow going on, and I was able to spoil people in my life, friends, family, take them places, take them out, get them this and that, and do the things. And I started doing really good with this whole eBay thing, and I was like just flipping things online, and it's like, wow, this is working out good. And my web designing was picking up, and I was just having a lot of good things going for me, and I started just getting into YouTube content. And there was a little income with YouTube, but it was kind of a side hustle. But YouTube kind of helped kind of build my online presence. You know what I mean? It kind of helped get me out there. And so that was a win-win. And it all ended up being where, everybody kind of benefited, from the choices I made. Like, it was like a mutual thing. So everything I did was, I did it to be able to live life and be with around people that are important and mean the world to me, you know. So the kind of lifestyle, the kind of jobs, the career paths that I've chosen always allow me to be around the people that I care about, so that I'm not working away from people and not having them in my life, where, paying someone else to watch after people. You know what I mean? When you are self-employed and work for yourself, you're your own boss. And if you do things right, you're able to spend time with your kids and take them places and be the person spending time with them instead of paying a babysitter to do everything while you're an absent parent. So I did with everything within my power to make sure that I was able to provide and be there physically and emotionally. And I feel like that sets a good example of a parent, and that when I have friends that I communicate with, they can see that, and they know that side of me, and like, hey, he's a good guy. He's a hard worker. He deserves to settle down and finally and maybe have someone in his life and not live alone, but at least have the house he always wanted. Or, instead of living in I lived in a big house because it was not just for me, it was for my family. It was something I provided for my entire family. I didn't need 7,000 square feet for just me. No, that was for my whole entire family. That was because I was going to have more kids. I was going to adopt. I was going to grow my family. I was seeing somebody. I was like having a friend. It was kind of like a friendship, but then it was kind of like it could be something more. It was like in my mind, it's like maybe it could be, so it's more of a friendship, kind of like, well, we can cohabitate as friends and bring more children into the family. And I was like, we're going to be like the Brady Bunch, And so everything was to have and provide for a family and have that big home for that family. And then when everybody grew up and went their own direction in life, and it's like, well, I don't need such a big house anymore. It's too much. It's too unaffordable at my time in my life. And I don't need empty nest syndrome. So I was like, well, I need to sell my house, pay off some debt, give a little money here and there to people that, need it. Not like I was able to afford to just give money to everybody, but like, if anybody was in the transition of trying to find a place to live, because, hey, like if you have somebody living with you at the time and you're moving out, you can't just stick them and move somewhere and then they have no money to buy, to rent an apartment or something. So you give them some money so they can rent something. So if anybody's living with you, that's a common thing. That's a courtesy, right? Well, don't just, move and then they have no place to go and they have no money to pay for rent or anything. No. So you help them out financially by giving them something they need, so they can be able to get a place, and help them with, whatever it is, so that, you don't have that guilt on you. Like you just don't want to just up and leave somebody stranded and then have no place to stay. You know what I mean? So you try to help you can, the best you can. And, sometimes you got to like, okay, so you help one person, then even if the other person's not living with you, you still got to help them too. But then you might have someone that's like, okay, well, this person got, $20 more than the other person. All of a sudden now we got this jealousy. Or, I'm not saying is that somebody going to make a big deal about whatever it is, because somebody might have got an extra few things than the other person, or somebody could have had a more, I don't know, expensive item 10 years ago as opposed to now. I'm just saying sometimes people, compare what they get with what someone else gets. And then they equate that with, oh, they love that person more because they got $20 more, or they got a cosign, or I haven't co-signed for, I co-signed for somebody a long time ago. And then I said, I'm not co-signing for anybody. And this was years ago. And I said, I'm not doing it again because my credit was in jeopardy, because, a credit card got lost. And I was like, okay, well, if this is a linked credit card and one got lost in the mail, and if somebody gets it, then it's going to mess up my credit. And so, you have to report it lost, and then it affects everybody. And then like people get mad at you if you try to close out the credit account because you don't want to mess up your credit, especially when you're trying to get a new house and move. So you try to do what you can to be in that right financial position. And So I've learned my lesson not to co-sign for anybody ever again. And I've had people ask me to co-sign for this and that, and I turned them down, but I didn't have to explain much more than the fact that my income was not going to qualify me to help anybody. My co-signing anything was going to be totally meaningless because nobody's going to even call it a valid co-signing agreement when your income is between 600 to 800 a month on a payment that would require somebody to make $2,500 a month, if you get what I'm saying. So that's kind of where I stand. That's why I just, you know what? I'm not co-signing for anybody. Those days are over with. Back when I was making good money, yeah. The pandemic took it all away. So here we are now. And that's the reality of that. So you guys haven't seen me for so long because my mind is in this other place. All right, well, that's going to be it. Sometimes I feel like this. I feel like sometimes I end up communicating to some of my friends out there who have somehow stopped communicating to me. And I feel like sometimes just putting it on YouTube is a way to reach out to them, or one of them, at least if it's just one of them. Because there could be a handful of people I'm talking about, and it could be from 3 or 4 different states. Like I said, I have friends in different places, and I don't, it's not about the amount of friends, it's the quality of the friends. And so when people kind of cut you off, and I had one friend who messaged me and said something about like, oh, one of your friends had passed away, and you got to check out this link on Facebook to see if you recognize them. And I was like, oh, and I was so stressed about that. I'm like, well, what's going on? And then I found out that was a scam, and somebody like hacked my friend's Facebook account and sent that link. And then I'm thinking, what's going on? And then I never hear from my friend again. And I'm like, okay, so maybe that's why I'm not hearing from him. Maybe because maybe people are hacking people's accounts and nobody's communicating with him because nobody can get into their accounts. And so I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubts that maybe this is a legit reason why I haven't been in communication with some of my friends and close people in my life, because somehow their communication device, social media, whatever they use to communicate with me, has been compromised. That's the only thing I can think of. Because, sometimes making phone calls is not always, phone service is not always very good and reliable. Anyway, you guys are amazing. I got to get out of here. Next video is going to be a recorded video. It's not going to be a live stream on this channel. It's going to be content that's going to be pretty active content for sure. It's going to be something. Something's better than nothing. But other than that, I got to go because I got to pee. I'm walking around doing a pee walk. It's going to be the pee dance in a minute. I'm like doing a pee dance. I'm going to do a pee walk. I got to go so bad. I'm just hopping around the house trying to deal with the bladder pain. Oh my gosh. Woo, 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 woo. I'm feeling it now. I feel a stream coming on, and I'm in the middle of a stream right now. I can't do a stream in a stream. That would be like a double positive. But you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. Like I said, I tried to be positive as I can. I throw in a couple of dad jokes, but hey, I'm a dad anyway, so you can expect that from me. Other than that, I really got to get going. I got to pee so bad. It's like, that's another thing. What's up with the sudden urge to pee? And there's times where I have to admit, there's times where I feel like I need Depends diapers, because there's times where I have accidents. And should I be having accidents? I don't know. Is that normal for someone who's like my age? Should I be having like little accidents? Not like major, but like drippage. I'm talking like maybe a couple of drops. And, do I make it to the toilet? Okay, I got a couple of drops came out. Oh crap. Does that mean I got freaking like kidney, bladder cancer or some crap? You know what I mean? Like my mind is all over the place. But anyway, I got to go because I'm going to pee my pants if I don't get it. Okay, guys, have a good night or good morning, whatever it is. I got to go. Take care. All right, that's it. Oh, my God.